Hello everyone, George here, and we're back with Foxy again. That is Foxy with the giant pug body. We're going to need to make a lot of changes to this. So let's go ahead and bring up an image of full body Foxy, as we can see right here. If we come to this image in particular, we see the hand, we see some pants, and just several different segments, mostly the animatronic endoskeleton. So we're going to be modifying things quite a bit on this particular pug body. Let's go ahead and just start nuking things. We're going to nuke the left side of his body, or his right side, I should say. Let's go ahead and grab everything and hit 1 key, so we see the polygonal version of that. And let's go to our front view and start deleting things. So let's see here. On this, we're going to need to get rid of half of that body, so let's go ahead and nuke that. Oh, my selection stuff's changed again. Let's go to my preferences and selection and go back to center, save. Great. And just start going through here and removing the secondary side of everything that's going on here. We're going to be working with the existing model. It just makes sense to. No reason to throw away a lot of good work. Let's go ahead and get rid of that as well. And it looks like we're back to a basic bare bones template that we can start to work with. Alright, so given that information, it looks like Foxy is pretty torn open all over the place. He's missing parts, but ultimately he has that underlying endoskeleton. Shoulder pad is a very narrow piece, so let's go along those lines and make something that looks, or at least resembles that. So I'm going to take the entire thing here and modify, let's do center pivot. Am I in world mode? Yes, I am. Let's go to object mode instead. And shift right click or space, modify center pivot. There we are, and much better. Now we're going to rotate this up ever so slightly and probably out as well. Now I'm going to grab all of these faces here and we're going to taper this whole thing off. So shift right click extrude and bring this out. And let's shrink that down as well. There we are. Not terrible. Not perfect, but you know what? That's what I make. Not terrible, but not perfect. Let's shrink down everything else to kind of coincide with what we're going for here. There we are, a little bit better. And I think we can go with that. Let's hit 3 key to see what it looks like. And go to 2 now. And what I want to do is bring this central formation out. So let's grab you and go and you as well. And move all of you outwards. There we are. Great. Getting better. Grab all of you and move you downwards as well. And you guys need to be rotated, don't you? Okay. So rotate up and over. Alright, we're going to go with that for the moment. The central area, I think. Although you guys, you and you, should probably be pushed back and in. There we go. Make it a little bit more harsh. And I'm going to actually push them out a bit as well. Okay, so let's go with that. That's matching a little bit closer. Not really close, but, you know, it's within my own idea of what Foxy should look like. So there's our horrible hand right there. Foxy is going to be long. He's going to have a long body. So we might as well get used to it and start stretching him out. Modify center the pivot on that and do something like this. And let's shrink him down as well. I see lean and narrow as Foxy's primary way of existing. Modify center that pivot as well. And in and out. And once again, we're just going to hit 2 on these so I get a better sense of what's going on underneath. And I kind of want to expose the underlying armature, the endoskeleton. Let's hit 3 on that. Oh, that's horrible for Foxy, isn't it? Do we have a good photo of Foxy's other hand? No, he's got a claw and he's got a robot hand. Okay, well that's going to have to be obviously fixed. But let's work on these elements first. So Foxy has a lot of gnarled bits, things that are going in and out. So why don't we continue with that theme and right-click face, this, and let's just start deleting things. Delete that face. Now we have an open intersection right there. If we delete the one under that as well, so long as we have a face that coincides, but I'm not sure we do. No, we don't. So the internals on this need a edge loop. Let's go to 1 key, shift right-click, insert edge loop, and from the outside, select the inside. As messed up as that sounds, we're going to do it. Now we're going to right-click, and I'm going to grab that face right there. And we're going to bridge these elements. So right-click edge, and really I should probably get rid of the face for the moment. So let's grab all most of the face, and Control H. No, you're not going to let me. I'm in component mode. Control H, grab you, and Control H. There we are. Now we don't have the face messing with us. Let's get rid of the shoulder pad as well and start messing with this. So right click and bridge. Come to you and bridge. Coming back and you. Bridge and you two. There we go. G key for bridging. Let's see what happens if I hit the 3 key. And we get a really nice soft subdivisional element, much like you see right there. We should also create some sort of rattiness along this edge over here. And to do that, let's go back to 1. We can see we don't have a lot going on, so I'm going to insert some edge loops to give us more detail to work with. So there's one right there, and I need the inside. Did the inside get it? No, of course not. Why would it? That's not how we do things. There we are, and we're going to nuke this seam right here, I think. And make that travel up the arm. Great. You are an edge loop I didn't take account for. So let's go back in time ever so slightly and insert a secondary edge loop. Right click, insert, and somewhere along those lengths, that's fine. Right click face now, and let's delete you and start bridging things. So you and you, wow, we still have a very big difference between these two parts, and it didn't like what I just did. So if I grab all of you and move you inwards, does that fix things ever so slightly? Looks like it does. See, I've got this other edge loop in here and that one. What I'm trying to do is merge these guys together to create some tattered parts to Foxy's animatronic. So we're going to just continue to bridge things. I'm using the G key, by the way, as a hotkey. F8, save, F8 again, and hit 3 on that. And already we can start seeing something that looks a little bit more tattered and worn. We might as well do the same thing to the underside, since it's there on the upper side as well. Go to 2 key and grab all of you. Delete you guys. Right click edge mode and grab you and you. And let's do some more bridging. Let's see. Top, bottom, G. Top, bottom, G. Okay. I think that's it for the tatterness on this element. Since we don't have an underlying animatronic skeleton yet, we're going to need to start working with the clavicle, which goes to a breastplate or a bone plate in the center region. I think we're going to need to start making layers to make this work. So let's go to a new layer and call this exterior. Save, and let's make another layer called interior and save that as well. We're going to grab everything we currently have and add that to the exterior. Okay, so we're going to do a template. Yeah, let's do template so I can see through it. There we are. Very good. And we're going to go to interior now. And let's start actually working with things. So hold on. I'm going to grab everything on the interior and hit 3. There we are. Save. Let's go to the interior layer now and start working with that. So let's go to, well, cylinder mode, I assume, and start bringing in some cylinders because we're going to need them eventually, if not right now. That cylinder is very high poly for the internals. Let's go to 12. Sure. And rotate this 90 degrees. There we are. Scale it on in and down and up. There we are, somewhere in there. And that's good enough for the beginning of things. Because now we're going to bring in a cube. We need to make the sternum for our character. And we don't really want to use this as reference because this is for the pug. Foxy is going to be lean and mean. So let's move that inwards a bit and right click and let's do some edge loops. And we're going to do one, I don't know, there and maybe there and I don't know, somewhere along those lines. And just start bringing them out as you would expect a chest to be pulled. Something like that. Maybe you guys up here, inwards, something like that. And we're going to go to template for these elements now, I think. And we're going to grab you and just world shift you over. So W, X, and V, nope. Constrain V over. Grab you and start messing with stuff over here. All right, so in, and maybe a little bit more in, and ultimately out, and probably back in would be my expectations for something like this, and maybe another face down. Since the inner areas we're not going to subdivision, we're going to make them thin. Right? Sure. Sure, why not? Something like this, maybe. And the whole thing, actually. Okay, we'll go with that for... Oh, you are not good. You need to come out. And... yeah, why not? Save that. Now that we have this kind of generalized plate, we should probably have this extend along to the back side. Why? Because that's what I see here. It goes out and over. And moving on in, let's go to world coordinates and move this out. Coming back to perspective mode to get a general idea. That's probably too wide. Let's bring it in ever so slightly. And also, we're going to go to local mode, rotation mode, and something like that. Sure. Now that we have that, we're going to start extruding more and more and more outwards. But not like that. That's certainly not what we want. I'm going to bring that down. And probably in. Yeah. Now that we're done with that, we're going to rotate this element inwards. G that again and bring it out. Sure, why not? And once again, select, rotate, and what are we rotating with here? Object mode. Let's do edit pivot, that, and rotate, reset, edit pivot that, and turn that off, and rotate that a little bit more in line with what's going on there. But I need to turn that off now, so let's do world, or object. Great. Alright, so let's now grab you, right-click, extrude, and bring you out and over, but in world mode because local stinks sometimes. There we are. And over, and back. And once again, we're going to rotate you in line. So that's pretty close. I think we can scale these guys together and move them over in X and be able to mirror that element to the other side. Now it's pretty rough, just looking at it right now, and it makes me want to make some changes to it. But for the moment, let's just go with what we have and make it so. Delete, save, F8. Great. Yeah, I almost feel like let's start doing some changes. Right click, let's do bevel. Let's do one additional segment, just one in there. F8, and let's do G key on that. One more, please. There you go. And increase that fractional amount a bit. There we are, save. And you're kind of annoying me, but maybe I don't need to worry so much. Let's do the back. And once again, bevel that. One more segment and increase the fraction so we get that curvature going on. And you are now annoying me because I don't have a good topology going on with this. So let's do you somewhere there. And you should be rotated in camera space. Probably, whoa, not like that. Just a wee bit. Move you back. And maybe something like that, maybe. So we got plenty of edges, plenty of loops. It's all good. Let's turn off wireframe for a second here. Let's do mesh display. Let's do set normal angle and hit apply. What does that look like? Not good. Let's do 60. Apply, close. Look at that nastiness right there. That's pretty bad. We're going to need something to soften this, and it makes me feel like we need another bevel. So we're going to grab all these elements all the way around so we have a clean bevel. Shift right click and bevel that. And let's do 2 segments, but the fraction is reduced. Look at that nastiness right there. And Shift A to click, right click, and multi-cut from U to U, back, and I'm sure around again, right? Why not? So you are going to come here and to there. We're going to fix you right now. So down to V, over to V as well, save, and that makes a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, unfortunately. 1, 2, 3, 4 for that. We're going to keep that for the moment. It's not horrifying. Alright, so you need to be extended further. So we're going to grab this face and rotate you that way. So we have something to work with. And we're going to grab that and extrude you in world coordinates backwards. Somewhere like, say, there. And the clavicle, which is this thing, at least represented by this cylinder at the moment, we're going to duplicate that because I don't feel like making another one. And we're going to move this one off and inwards. Let's rotate you. More importantly, we'll probably need to scale you down in your local coordinates a bit. And let's move you over there, right click verts, grab you, move you back, grab you, move you forward. And let's bind the 2 of you together somewhere up here. Okay, we're going to grab this one, duplicate it again, because once again I don't want to lose the cylinder I have. Rotate you and start scaling you down as well. And the back, I imagine, is less important than the front, even though the back tends to hold all of our weight. And because we can't see it, we don't care about it. So let's move it back here. X to the center, there we are. And scale you, right click face, delete those faces, great. And the 2 of you are going to come together somewhere here. That's what I imagine. So you, we're going to get rid of you, and you, we're going to get rid of you as well. And we really need to bridge these 2 elements together. Okay, grab both, right click, combine. I've never done this before. Let's try it. You and bridge. Great. And let's do a multiple divisions. Let's do 2 divisions. What does this stuff do? Nothing good. Nothing good. Nothing good. Nothing good. Nothing good. That's interesting. Blend. Unfortunately, it's too much to blend properly. So we'll go with how it is. Right click, edge it. Grab these elements here and just start pulling things out to make this work for us. So it's going to go out to there with that funky little kink in it. Let's move that in. Let's bring a cylinder in here to work with the arm now. Rotate that 90. Great. And scale you properly, right? So you in that direction, I guess, and much thinner. Actually, probably wider now that I think about it. This is the joint for the shoulder. That's going to go somewhere in there. Somehow attached to all this nonsense, I guess. And shift right click. Actually, let's go to, can we add that cap back? Now that I've messed with all this stuff. Yes, we can. Great. You always want to add that cap if you're thinking about messing with stuff. Okay. Constrain to that direction. And let's make this a little bit more interesting looking. So we're going to grab all the inner elements, I think, but none of you. And you're all grabbed, but you are too. Shift right click, extrude face. Let's do inner. And let's do G again. And we're probably going to reuse this object multiple times, I think. What's the best way to do this? That's in. Let's do center it and scale inwards. Yeah. Okay. Good enough. That's going to become our pivot point for the arm. It's going to be attached to the shoulder, and it's going to go down through the rest of this stuff. And because it's going to be attached, we should probably bring it down a bit and then create a connection between those two areas. And then from that, we have our actual arm, which we can use with this cylinder here. Something in here, I guess. And we don't have a center to this, so let's do shift right click, insert, and set that to 1. Grab you. W, please. Move you up. I want to be in center with that. So the arms are going to have to be modified to work with this, obviously, but that's okay. We're going to take you and duplicate you for now and move you on down the side and rotate you 90. So that's 0. There we are, because that's going to become our rotational pivot for this entire thing. Right there. And probably thinner, I'm guessing, maybe? Something like that. I almost feel like you should now be larger. So let's do that. Really big. Alright, and we're going to need to take this thing, and we need the other arm to be attached into this thing. So let's right click and grab these faces. Let's do right click shift grow, and then let's do a shrink. There we are. So we only have those elements. Let's grab, this one and this one, and now do a grow and a shrink. And since shrinking doesn't work when something's closed off, we have those elements. Now let's go shift right click and do a duplicate. Let's do duplicate faces. Now we have those faces separate from these ones, so I'm going to hide them really quick. Now we have the top and the bottom of our future element. So let's do right click edge, grab you. We're going to delete him or her. Actually, no, we'll keep it as a reference. Double click, right click, extrude, and move that up, I guess, and display show all now. Now that we have an understanding of what's going on, we can make the next part work, I think. Now grab this, extrude out again. Now that we have that extrusion, let's do that one last time. G and down, and we're going to do it to somewhere around that area, and then G one more time and inward. Yeah. Okay. Now that we have that, we can make the part that actually merges with this. So we're going to grab face mode and grab all of these guys. We're going to do the same trick again where we grow and shrink and move this up. So it's not Z fighting with the rest of it. But what we're going to do from here now is make a straight extrusion outwards, a straight joint, right? So you, and you, please. Not the underlying you, but the top you, please. All right, you know what? You guys come along for the ride. You guys go away. And you're all selected as well, so let's go bye, 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 and bye. Bye, please, thank you. Okay, right click and extrude. I'm gonna do this in world chords because that's what we're kind of working in. I'm gonna do over and probably no downwards. Nope, please, thank you. And I want to do this. I want to do world and something down like that, I think, is what I'm going to go for. Great. Now that we have that, we might as well do another extrusion on out. Right click, extrude. We're going to do this in worlds, bring it out to here, but I'm going to flatten the whole thing out because this now becomes the rest of the arm. And we're also going to thin it and do another G. I'm just going to bring that down to somewhere where I anticipate the wrist to actually be at. We're going to save that. We're going to go to this object now. We're going to mirror it to the other side. So edit, delete by type, history, shift right click. Let's do mirror. And what do we want? Let's do object. Let's move the pivot. The pivot's in the center. So right click mirror. And we'll do object in the Y negative space. And we do not want to merge. And I'm going to hit apply. And there we are. So because our pivot was in the right place, that bottom part got properly set up. And now we have the internal long arm element that'll come together over here by most likely, once again, just duplicating this element, bringing it here, and working with it properly. So probably 90 degrees on that one as well. Here we are. And scaling it thinner in that direction. Great. Okay. Well, you know what? This video is getting really long. It's already over 40 minutes if I don't edit this thing down. So I will see you next time. Hope you enjoyed watching the beginnings of the body of Foxy. Hopefully I finish this a lot faster, but because we're making the animatronic elements, the internal elements, it's taking a little bit more time than I anticipated. And remember, if you liked it, give me a like. If you don't like it, not only dislike, but leave me a comment on why, and I will see you in the next video. So long, everyone. Goodbye.